think I should say. Basically, we've had a few technical issues where my son wrecked my battery charger, and I've been using the USB cable to power my controller, and for some bizarre reason, doing it that way won't let me hear people. So I've had to put these batteries in. I don't know how much life these batteries have got. So we're just going to do the show, and if these batteries die on me, then the show will die. I'm afraid. Simple as that. I mean, I can't. That's just what.
There's not much else you can say, really, is there?
No, I've got loads of AAA batteries, not AA batteries, so I will try my best. So my guest today is Wraithload, aka Gary Walters. Now then, buddy, let's quickly get into this. Oh
Go
man,
on.
what a day! What a day! You know what? I don't even know where to start.
Yeah.
My head's just completely frazzled.
Well, what's on top of your frazzle, mate? Hit me with number one.
Okay.
Go on.
Let's talk about what people have been asking me about state of the Xbox Cup. Tizzle Bizzle is a bit concerned. I mean, obviously, I talk to him a lot, and he's going on about, obviously he's got great concerns because a lot of people have come out and said they've had enough of the they've just basically had enough of the cup. Disconnections are costing people. Games.
I will put my hand up and say I am one of those people. I absolutely am, and I've said that publicly.
I mean, I've said enough is enough now as well because I don't know if you knew. I mean, me and Ben played our players game, and I was in. It was early doors, but I was in cruise control. But obviously, we wanted it to finish, and it DC'd. And full credit to Ben. He's like, I'm pissed off about it, but you would have won, so you can go through, and that's great. But my problem now is I should be worried about my next opponent, who's a very good coach. But all I'm worried about is I'm going to disconnect, and it's going to cost me the game. I'm now adamant that's going to happen, and that is no
and if you get
way.
Disconnect in a semi or a final, and it's 1-1, or there is no going there. That's the rules.
Yep.
So
it's
it was just lucky in your game that it happened the right way round. But imagine the money being decided by a disconnect.
Yeah.
Can you imagine the uproar if the final got decided by a DC? That would be ridiculous.
Yeah. It's something now. I mein, like I said, I've now joined. Obviously, I always get this wrong. Fabal or Fabble.
Fabble.
I've joined the private league because I'm saying, you know what, I just can't do it. I can't grind for 6 weeks.
I'm an admin in Fabble. I'd just like to put my hand up and say that before we talk about Fabble, because I don't want this to seem like I'm biased, but I'm just saying, at least in private leagues in general, and this was the point I made when I put up a post about it, was you can go in and you can reset a game. If you have like a league game and it gets DC'd, you just get an admin and they go click and you reset the game. So
I mean, you can do that obviously in the playoffs as well. But the issue with me,
but when you've got money involved,
that's the problem.
Yeah.
I mean, I was thinking. I mean, this has happened to me on the Xbox twice. The first time my opponent disconnected, I gave him a replay because it was basically very early on, and I said, look, let's replay it. This time,
and that's the fair thing to do.
Case of this time, but again, I was thinking afterwards. I'm thinking, if this wasn't for money, or this wasn't in this C ladder, if this was say like a private league, you would have been I'd have been a bit annoyed that obviously I'd have got to a good start, but I'd have replayed it. But I think it's a thing where you've played for 6 weeks, you've got a great start. I'm going to get a better start than I have, and because money's involved, you think, you know what, I'm ahead. Why should I replay it? And I was questioning: should we really have the money? If the money wasn't there, would we all be like better sportsmen or what? Because I felt pretty I was upset about it, and I felt a bit dirty taking the win, but I'm thinking, you know what?
But at least, as I said, at least in your instance, the DC happened the right way round. It happened against to the person who was clearly losing. So that's in that situation, if I was 2-0 down or 3-1 down or something, I would probably go just take the game. See, I proposed a couple of solutions. One, obviously, fix the fucking stability. Like, that's option number one. That would be the ideal situation. But if we can't have that, have a situation where either both players or a couple of admins can look at the game and go, right, that game was 2-1, but the person who was down had the ball, so we're going to call that a replay, or if both coaches agree it's a replay, or some kind of situation where you have mutual agreement or a panel of judges where you go, right, this is what's going to happen. Or the other option is, like, you just, Anyway, sorry, go on. What were you going to say?
Yeah, I was going to say, obviously, me being a PS4 admin, I know how it works. I mean, basically, the way when a disconnect happens is both coaches will see if they come to an agreement first. If not, then the admins will rule on it. Luckily for me, Ben said take the win. So I'll ever be grateful for that. But if, say, for instance, he decided, well, no, we're going to have to the admins, and there'd be an admin call. But the problem is, some people have said, obviously, in the last stream when I was on Carlson Casting, saying, well, you know what, if it's early on, you should replay it, even if you are in the lead. But then it sets a dodgy precedent, because then all of a sudden, if I'm playing, I don't know, I think I said to Cassis, if I'm playing you and you're kicking my ass after 4 turns, and I know I'm not going to win, and then I deliberately disconnect and say, oh, well, hang on, we've only played 4 turns, we're going to have to replay it again. Then all of a sudden, you've got a very dangerous precedent.
See, there's always going to be grey areas with that, because it is a subjective call. Absolutely, and that's why I said option number 1, fix the stability. That would be ideal, because then we wouldn't have to worry about this bullshit. Then if you have a DC, it's either because your power's gone out at your house, or you've genuinely gone, I'm going to bail on this game. Yeah. But at the moment, there's no way of telling.
Yeah. I mean, the other thing what annoys me, the other thing what annoys me mostly is on the PC they have a reconnection feature. Apparently, they can't do it on consoles. Apparently they can't. I don't understand why they can't do it on consoles. You get that reconnection. It doesn't matter if you have a blue screen or anything, right? Yeah. It doesn't matter if we crash or whatever. No one will give a fuck, because as long as you've got 6 minutes, more time, as long as you fuckers things not updating, or you've lost electricity, you're going to get back on. And then even if it was a bit of a ropey, even if it was ropey, the game was ropey, you won't worry, because you can reconnect.
Yeah, exactly.
But apparently they can't do it, but you're going to tell me differently.
Yeah. No, I'm not going to tell you differently at all. What I'm going to say is, I'm going to give you an example of a game that can do it, which is incredibly more complicated. I played PUBG. Right. That's a 100-person multiplayer battle arena where you can reconnect to the game if you disconnect. And you do disconnect all the time. But because you can reconnect, it's not really an issue. Like, sometimes you get killed, but sometimes you die while you're reconnecting. But most of the time, you'll get back in and you can keep going. And so no one really bitches about it. Problem. Yeah. Well, they do, because it's like 20 million people that play the fucking game, but they're nowhere near as many, because it's not an issue.
Yeah.
And if it connects, that'd be perfect.
I just.
That was option number 3 that I was trying to think of, by the way, before. Reconnects.
Cass has hit the nail on the head. As we've opened the show when we're talking about DCs, what's very depressing, but we've got to talk about the big issues of Blood Bowl, and obviously it's about the Xbox, and the Xbox have a major problem with it. Now, the thing is that I've said, I've had rants and all that about stuff, but I will tell you this, Cyanide are trying. You might not believe me, but I'm in discussion with them all the time.
Yeah. The last thing they want is this game to fail, because the community becomes basically their worst enemy. And it kind of is a little bit at the minute, and we do need to be careful about that. I do agree with him about that. We do try and need to be as positive as we can. But when you have people like people who've come second in the league, people who've been in the money, going, I'm too frustrated to play this because I'm on 5 disconnects after 10 days out of a 42-day season. That's a huge issue for me. The disconnects in the regular season are a bigger issue, because that's why I gave up, because I was 11 days into a 42-day season. I needed one more disconnect to get bumped. So what the hell was the point?
What point of going on?
I could play for another 21 days, have one disconnect on the final day of the season, and the whole thing's a waste of time. That's what I have an issue with, because you have no control over whether or not you get banned. Like, I don't mind getting banned from the game if I've abused someone, or getting banned from the playoffs if I've been a dickhead, but I'm not going to sit here and put up with being banned from the playoffs because their system's rubbish.
Yeah,
That's just ridiculous.
And
that's why I've
the
chosen
problem,
not to play.
Yeah, and it's like, I mean, little Yoshi's a perfect example. I mean, obviously qualified the playoffs, fantastic, no problems. This season, I think he's had 4 or 5 disconnects already. So last season, no problem. This season, already. So so he's not doing nothing different. It's just
Well, I was the same. I didn't have a disconnect for 4 seasons, and I was one of these people. And I've got to admit, I have changed my tune now that it's affected me. But and I was one of those people who I didn't have a disconnect for almost 4 seasons, and then all of a sudden I had like ridiculous amounts in the space of 2 weeks, and it was just like, what the hell's going on? I haven't changed my setup. I haven't done anything differently.
Yeah.
What the hell?
And the thing was putting me off. I mean, I've only played 3 games on all formats. That's all I've played. 3 games. I mean, I have been ill, but now I'm feeling a lot better. But I'm struggling to get the drive to play. I'll be honest. And
I saw you post about that.
And I played my playoff game, thinking, let's get excited again, and it just deflated me. It completely made me hate the game. I'll be honest. I came off that, and if I could have smashed something, I would have done. I was so frustrated because that's not the way I wanted it to happen.
Yeah.
And if it was just a one-off and we had an issue, it's just bad luck. But it isn't, and I'd said this would happen. I talked to people, said we're going to get disconnects in this cup because it's ropey as hell, and typical.
Yeah, it was only a matter of time before it happened in the finals. It really was.
That's twice that's happened to me now. I mean, the first time it was easy replay, no problem. And like nobody wants to win the way I want.
One of these days, it is going to, as you said before, it's going to come down to one of these contentious calls where you get a panel of 3 admins and 2 of them call it one way and one of them calls it the other, and it's it decides someone's getting €250 or €500 or whatever
But it's bigger than that though. It's bigger than that. I mean, the thing is, say for instance, the coach could say, "Oh yeah, well your admins have gone the other way because you're mates with them, or you don't like me, so of course you're not going to go my way." And then all of a sudden you get all this like, "Oh well, the admins are better."
Oh, can you imagine
there?
I don't mean to pick on him, but can you imagine if there was like a very, very tight decision against, or even for someone like Kaz, or Mike Mouthy Barbecue, or someone like that? Yeah, because we are all mates. When we are, and people, like we do get along, and there's people, like that are really good mates with these people, and it's the same with all the Fabble coaches as well. Like I wouldn't want to have to rule between Jeff and Mouthy, or Tom, or any of those guys. I would literally just go, no, I'm sorry, I'm not doing it, and I'm glad I don't have to. I'm glad I'm not in that position because,
I mean, we had the issue, and I had the issue, and I hope Kaz doesn't mind me saying this. I'm not going to go into it, but obviously Kaz got banned on the PS4, and it came to the point
fair enough, wasn't aware, but
the point of the fact was, although I'm an admin, I was like seen as, well, you're basically the very rich lawyer what gets Calcium Cast out of shit. And the other admins had to decide on it because the group what had put the issue against him were basically saying, look, Bernie's just protecting him. So it was an awkward predicament because even though I'm a good friend of Cass's, I still would ban him if he goes through the line, and the same with anybody else.
Yep.
But it got to the point that they're like, well, can we actually believe that you're going to do something because you're his friend? And that's what I'm saying. If it was a game between Cass and one of them, and it was an admin call, then they might be saying, oh, well, you're going to go on Cass's side because you're mates. And it puts us in an awkward predicament. And we should be put in that.
And I've experienced this in tabletop tournaments where I've had to rule between friends of mine. It's horrible. And it's like there you're talking about a trophy probably worth 25 quid. Here we're talking about €1,000 of prize money almost. Why this is why, as I said, I've just and me and quite a few people recently have just gone. We'll just go back to playing in our private leagues. Thanks.
Yeah, and that's what I've decided to do, and that's why I've obviously joined you guys.
Because I like playing against all these different coaches that I don't normally play in Fabble and testing myself against them and getting smashed by a lot of them, to be honest. But I love that because it makes me a better player at the end of the day. Playing against as much as I hate playing against some of these guys because they hurt my brain, I love playing against some of them because they hurt my brain at the same time. That's the whole point. But it's just too frustrating, like knowing that I'm going to get kicked out halfway through a season through no fault of my own.
I mean, it's crazy because, like I said, I was really ill and I missed the PS4 playoffs because I was so ill I couldn't play. And that was the first time I'd ever missed the PS4 playoffs. And I thought I'd be really upset, really peeved off and gutted. And you know what? I couldn't give a shit. And I was really sad that I was like not
That's
even bothered.
That's a bad sign.
And that is a bad sign. That is a real... I mean, people who've seen my PS4 know I'll find a loophole. A team was, quite easy to qualify with. And I just was like, you know what? I just can't be asked.
Like your Bretonians.
I just haven't got the drive. Yeah, like my Bretonians. And that's the point. I mean, at the moment, I prefer to stream games, commentate on games, or do the talk shows. At the moment, playing is a chore for me. And I never thought I'd say that. And people say, well, maybe it's because you're being ill or you need a break, and that could be right. But when I see people putting their time and effort into the game, as an admin myself, and seeing people disconnect, it's so sad. It's so sad. And it happens in the playoff. It's devastating. I mean, like, I'm gutted, and I benefit from the DC, but I feel filthy because it shouldn't have gone down like that. And I wouldn't say I've got hatred, but I feel really frustrated with Cyanide. But the biggest worry I have about Cyanide, it's not that they don't care or anything like that. Yeah. I don't think they have a clue how to fix it. That's the issue. And every time I've talked to them, they say, "Look, after my game with Ben, I went to Gillimer, who was a technical guy of the Cyanide team, and I was talking to him nice and politely and say, look, this has happened, this has happened. He said, yeah, Nethos on the case as well. We're working around the clock to see what is causing it. But there's so many random aspects of how people are crashing. And they're trying to find out what is causing it. And I don't think they've narrowed it down yet. And that's the problem. They can't fix it because they don't know what's causing it, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And, it's strange because, like I've said before, when they did these big patches, and they did take a long time with these patches as well. They weren't a quick cowboy fix or anything like that.
Yeah.
The PS4, dare I say, is pretty good now, but the Xbox, to my honest opinion, has got a lot worse. Now,
that's the thing. That's the thing. It's not just like it's stayed the same; it's noticeably got worse, and that means they've changed something. Made it worse. And I'm not saying they've done this deliberately in any way. The last thing they want is the game to fail, and the last thing any of us want is them to just go fuck it, we're not going to support it at all anymore. But like, they've done something that's made it worse, and I know nothing about the technical end of it. I'm not even going to begin to pretend how network systems and servers and all this bollocks works. I'm probably not even using the right words, but it is like, as you said, they're trying, but it's just so frustrating.
Yeah, and that's the thing. You paid for a product, and I think the thing is, it's a lot worse because there's money involved.
Because the thing is, the other thing as well is, if they weren't wasting their time doing this, if they weren't wasting their time constantly playing up trying to fix things, imagine how many extra expansions we could have. Imagine how much more money they would have got out of the game for themselves as well, which we would have happily given them for the extra teams. I'd love to have another 3 or 4 team expansions rather than 3 or 4 patches trying to fix the stability. That would be awesome. And then they'd be happy because they'd still be monetizing the product. We'd be happy because we'd be getting new toys to play with all the time, and everyone would be loving it. We know this. To give them their due, we know this isn't what they want either. It's just they're the only people who can do something about it.
Yeah, it's awkward for them, isn't it? Because if they get a few complaints, most companies say, "Oh, it's just a few complaints." But when there's loads, then they have to sit up and take note. Yeah. And that's what I was trying when I was on the Facebook page, where I got mixed reaction. I got mixed reaction. I know people have been trying it, but and this is what they've said again. Just send everything, as much detail as you can, because they're trying to find out what's making this go. I mean, Cass has said, "Oh, I've not had a crash. He had a crash. I don't know if it was today or yesterday. What if that was his cup game?" And that's the problem. 6-week brand, got a chance, and if you've got a good team as well. I mean, that was the only good thing with Ben. He said, "Look, if this was like if he had my Nagel kill team and or something like that, it'd be even more peeved because you've built this beautiful team and you've got a chance to win it, but you can't because guess what? Cyanide have got bugs in the game, and people are just going to leave. I mean, I'm trying to convince myself to play in the Xbox C ladder. I really am. I'm saying, come on, just suck it up. But I've got no drive. I'll be honest. I have no drive at all, and I don't think this fix from Xbox is going to be done in the next 4-6 weeks. I think it's going to be a longer issue than that. What can you do? Drick, the secret agent, has said he is Spanish. Well, that'll go down well with Cass always has problems with Spaniards. I tell you what, though, if he's being serious and he's a Spaniard, what is it with Spanish coaches? I mean, I had this on the Nuffle Shuffle show where the Spaniards are really bloody good at this game.
Oh, I've been to a few tournaments in Spain, man. No, they do.
Be a big thing.
There's a massive scene in Spain. I went to a tournament in Spain last May with some friends, and there was some amazing. Like, I ended up playing on the top 3 tables pretty much the whole tournament because the random Spanish guy I got paired with was amazing. And I did all right with my lizard men. Like, I think I went 3 wins, 1 draw, 1 loss, and the loss was against the Italian world team champions from like 2 or 3 seasons ago or something. And I got mashed by the most perfect elf player I've ever seen in my life. But yeah, the Italians and the Spanish are really good, man. There's a huge scene over there on tabletop. But the thing is, they all play on most of them play on tabletop. Like, we've got a few decent Spanish coaches like Antonio Rios Molina, I think his name is, and stuff, in Fable, when he plays in CCL as well. He's that Trexel Becate or something. Really good.
Yeah,
but most of them play tabletop. Most of the really good Europeans play tabletop, man. Yeah, or they play on PC.
Trying to find out who it was. Yeah, my Lord H, he's not too impressed with me. And Trexel Bit, whatever you pronounce it, I don't think he's very happy with me either.
What's that?
Because I keep trashing his team. Yeah, he was like
as in verbally or physically on the table.
Oh no, physically.
That's
basically,
all right,
the story we had was he would do really well in the C ladder. He'd come against me. I'd trim about 400 TV off his team. He would message me, say blah blah blah. Then he'd go away, build his team back up, get a few wins, bounce back into me. I'd trim another 400 TV down on him, and rinse repeat about 3 times. So he's not. Yeah, I don't think I'm his best friend. And obviously, as Cass will tell you, kill teams is easy mode. So he wants me to play something better. I think where I have to use my brain and probably will fail if I had to do that.
That coming from Kaz. Kill teams.
No, that was from Trexel. That was from
right,
Trexel.
I was going to say that would be like the kettle on an epic scale if it was Kaz saying that.
But it's usually Cass who gets it, doesn't it? Cass usually tell Cass it's easy mode, but I was getting it. And even Gnome Slayer, I think he's decided to play Neggle this season because it's point and click, and I'm like, well, I said to him, well, it's funny because I hear Elves is point and click as well, so it's all banter most of the time.
It is, exactly.
But every time I play kill teams, and I haven't really had a proper kill team, people have said, I mean, I got to the semi-finals with a Chaos team and it's like, oh yeah, kill teams. It's like, I've got no Pylon or nothing. I've got some Claw Mighty Blow and that's it. This is the first time I've gone stupid and gone kill. And every time I do this, I upset people. And that's why I don't like doing it. But, it was funny because like I don't usually get messages. But this season with Menegel, I've had plenty of people messaging me, hoping I die, or I've got no skill, and it's easy to be a great player when you've knocked out 5 players after 5 turns. And I'm like, well, don't base all your 11 AV7 Norse up next to my players, then you will lose 5 players, and you know what it's like. But I'd be gutted if my Negel gets.
There's always the salt, man. The one thing with Blood Bowl, doesn't matter what is going on and what other debates we're having, there will always be salt. It's just the game.
And it is, and obviously kill teams will certainly make that more salty, won't it? Because obviously I'd be the same if someone's destroying my team.
I never get dismantled by the kill teams though, man. Every time, like that time I was in the leading Chorf position by miles, I got 600 TV trimmed off my team by Amazons. Fucking Amazons. And I was just like, you what? Seriously, I lost like 3 of my best players in one game and had like 2 niggles or something, and I was just like, what the absolute
It is annoying though, isn't it? It is annoying.
Amazon's are my bogey team. They make me cringe every time I see them. Not in terms of losing games, just in terms of deaths.
I just can't injure Wood Elves. I really can't. I can hit them with everything. I could hit them with a truck and they still won't get injured until it's too late. So that's always been my bug. I
would quite happily take Leelings, Wood Elves out and drop pianos on their head if I was allowed to, and I'd still probably not hurt any of them.
Yeah. Yeah. I just want to go through the games, the Championship games.
Well,
I don't know how many of these
games
you've seen. Yeah, I've had enough of the DC bitching now. Just a quick thing: if I die, it's because I've got no batteries. My battery charger
because
is
you've been
wrecked by my
censored by the
8-year-old.
man.
Yeah, my 8-year-old's wrecked my battery charger, and when I put my USB controller in, I can't actually hear anybody on headphones. So fuck knows why that is, but that's the Xbox for you. So hey ho. Right, let's go through the games.
Yes.
Now we're going to be positive now, and I haven't mentioned the 2-minute, 3-minute things. I'm not mentioning that today, so you'll be happy about that.
To be honest, I think that debate's kind of, it's irrelevant. When you look at the average term times, it's like, it's under 2 minutes anyway. So what's the problem? It's around 2 minutes.
Don't start saying that, because I would then now reply and say, well, I'm not even going there.
Let's not even go there. Sorry. You said don't go there, and I went there. My apologies. Don't go there, Gary. What? That thing over there? Target lock.
Yeah. Yeah. I was trying to get a proud me moment, saying, "Look, I'm being the bigger man. I'm not talking about it." And you're like, "Go on, you want to."
That was just my fishhook, mate.
Yeah, that's it. They're all panicking now.
Really?
Let's talk about something positive. Let's look at the Champions Cup. Now, there's one thing I want to say to Trevor or Tizzle Bizzle. You've got to sort this out, mate. Where people are waiting for you to validate the games. You have to set it. In my honest opinion, you admins can tell me to go and fuck myself if you want, but you get people pestering you, and you've already got loads of work on your plate already, saying, "Can you confirm a game, please? I need my confirm. You need to confirm a game." I'll tell you now, coaches love to see what levels they've got and shit like that. And if they can't do it, and they've got to pest you for it, it is annoying. Because look, we've got Goth Rockers versus Santa No Claws. That needs confirming. We've got Californication versus Pain. Bloody hell, 4-0. That needs doing.
Yeah, that was. I saw that result. I didn't see the game, but Jesus, that looks
Rick's
nasty.
Game needs doing. That game needs. There's 4 games need doing there. It just makes it easy for you, because if there is an issue, then they just won't validate the game. So it's not like someone can confirm the game and try and cheat somebody, because the other coach will just won't confirm it. So that's just my tip to you, because it's just so long and frustrating. But anyway, let's go to the positives. Now, Goth Rockers. What happened to Goth Rockers against Santa No Claws? I was expecting Goth Rockers to go through that.
I saw some chat about this in the Facebook group, but I can't remember what happened.
Yeah. All I know is Goth Rockers, I think they failed a pickup with sure hands on a double one.
That's right, yeah, I remember Jeff saying that.
But I think Cass actually did a replay of the game, and he thought that Santa No Claws played it better. But I'll be honest, I was stunned by this. Kislev can always be tricky. Kazim Kazza said Goth Rockers played shit. Really? I don't know about that. He's a good coach. Maybe he's just not his day, but I would never call he's a shit coach. Sorry, not a shit coach. He played shit. But I suppose it can happen.
Well, everyone
he saw it. I didn't.
I'm not saying he did. Yeah, he saw it. We didn't. So, I'm not going to argue with him. But yeah, he is a very good coach usually. He's been in the finals. We all can have bad games, can't we? Yeah, exactly.
We can all have bad games. So. But yeah, I must admit, I was surprised. I tell you what made me laugh. Little Yoshi was in chat, and I think it was like, "Oh no, I've just rolled double one." And Little Yoshi's trying to be like, "Oh really? Oh, that's so bad." Trying to be like that. I bet he's like, "Go and beat him." Because when I was watching, I came in and watched Space Magic's game against Kozul. They're both good coaches. But I love Space Magic. Me and Space Magic, I wouldn't say we love each other, but we're good mates. And if he wasn't playing me, I'd be cheering Space on. But it was like, I don't want to play Space. I want to play Kozul. So I was like,
I know Kev's good. Kev's very good, man.
They're both good. They're both very good.
He plays he's playing in my mixed league that I run.
Is he?
And yeah, he's a good coach. I've played him quite a bit.
I just hope he gives me as many shots at the ball that he did space. Otherwise, I'll feel offended.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, this game.
It's going to be really funny is watching you and me trying to mash each other in the Premier League this season.
Oh yeah,
that's going to be great.
It's going to be interesting how I go. I mean, with Necro, I'll either go absolutely brilliant or I'll suck balls and I'll change again. I wanted to go Lizards.
I've gone with Orcs. I'm playing the long game. Yeah.
Yeah. Orcs are
good. Yeah. See, Lizards will be great until you get to about the first division, and then you'll plateau and you'll get wiped.
Yeah,
I was in the top division. I was in the top division for ages with them, and I just couldn't get them over the line, man. I came second or third so many times.
Yeah, I mean the thing.
Mind you, it wasn't Arsenal. It wasn't Arsenal themed team, so it was only appropriate that I never won the league.
oh man, I tell you what, that Wenger, how he's never been sacked from Arsenal. He must have some dirt on or something, because I tell you.
Oh man, I'm an Arsenal supporter through and through.
Tell you what. You know what? I tell you what's really funny is like he's won the Premiership 3 times or something, and they say but he's had 20 fucking years. That's not a good thing for a fucking big club, and that was a long time ago. See, it makes
there's always been a debate about whether Arsenal is an average club with a great manager or whether they're a great club with an average manager. It's one of those things. It could be either way, and the only way we'll ever find out is if he goes. But if you're wrong, are we in trouble?
Yeah,
but anyway, that's a conversation for an entirely different broadcast.
They're on the slide, yeah. There we go, see. What did I say to you? My batteries are going to be dying. Let's keep it clean and quick.
Yeah, let's keep it quick, he says, while we get distracted talking about... Yeah, sorry.
So, yeah, I thought the first game, Goth Rockers, I really thought they would have got through, but it's Blood Bowl, that's where it goes. Play with us versus the Brutal Deluxe. I sort of was like, wow, only 1-0, but then I remembered when I was hanging on for dear life against Sylvester's Goblins, I thought, fair play. The big story from this, though, was the Brutal Deluxe lost 2 players.
I saw that.
Their big
good
player, wasn't it? And I think he said his Black Orc was out as well. But if I'm Little Yoshi, I'm pretty happy that the Kislev got through. I really am. I mean, it's a strength 5, isn't it? Strength 5 blitzers out, and then he's got his black. Oh, that's an armor boost.
He's going to be crippled, but then, But
the thing is, I think
he's going to really struggle in his next game.
It doesn't matter what I say about Yoshi because he always takes as a negative, but I think he should. He's won. He's got to the playoffs again. He's won a game, and he's got a good chance to go far because that top half of that draw is not bad. And he's got a good chance to beat
probably the friendlier side.
Yeah. So I think he's got a good chance now, and he's done really well. The Golden Gophers and transfixed by indecision. Interesting game. I don't know the coach for the Golden Gophers, but I do know Najean's obviously beaten finalist last season, class coach, and he reminds me a bit like SL Hunter. He gets all the roles, although he didn't get them in the final. When he most
not that game,
them.
He didn't.
No,
that's the problem when you. Yeah, but he is. No, he's very clever.
He really is. So I mean, I don't know how that would go. I still want Lizards to do well, but I think the Genes will have too much from there, and the Undead should get their second team through. Yeah. Noble House of Eid against Malignant Tumors. I don't really know anything about Malignant Tumors, but I do know Noble House of Eid, or what we call it. I played him twice in Group 1, and then I played twice in the ladder. We drew the first game. I was so frustrated because I was doing the armor breaks, but just getting stuns and knockouts. If that second game, my injuries came in, and I won that game. But he's a very, very good coach, and I think he will. He's got a good chance. He plays High Elves well. I played High Elves in the playoffs. Admittedly, it was only a 6-game team, but I can't stand them, and I appreciate anyone who can play High Elves because they bore the shit out of me.
You've got to be clever. It's like playing Wood Elves, but without the jumping and the speed, which makes it even worse in my opinion. I can't do it. I'd rather play Pro Elves.
Yeah, there's a problem. Tizzle's in the chat. He said, "I'm worried about this match getting played. Last I heard, these coaches were having a hard time getting a hold of one another, and this is a major problem because I'm pretty brutal when it comes to the PS4. It's like, look, guys, you join this competition, especially the veterans. You get your 6 weeks. I give you 3 days to accept a ticket. You know when it finishes, it's advertised all over the place, and I keep telling you, and then you get a week to get it done. You get 7 days.
Yeah, and if you can't manage to organise one game of Blood Bowl, the amount of times I've got up at 5 o'clock in the morning to play like an organised league game against one of the guys from Pacific US or something like that.
Yep.
You know, you just sort it out.
Yeah, I played Chelsea's all about 3 o'clock in the morning or 2 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, it's always game. That's exactly who I was thinking of. It's always fucking Lee.
You know, but
it's all your fault, Lee, if you're out there. Yeah, but that's it. You do it. You know, one of you does it, or you suck it up, or you do it at midnight on a Saturday or something. You know, it's not.
I turn around to both of them and say, look, if I got to make the decision, I'll make the decision. But even if you win that decision, you know, you could be looking at a ban for this next season because I'm not having it. I mean, you know, if people going on holiday in the playoffs, we ain't going to wait for that. You know, just have the season off because there's nothing more frustrating.
Or just decline your ticket to the playoffs.
Yeah,
you can do that. You know, it's not like you're forced to play.
Yeah, there's nothing more frustrating than the rest of the coaches getting the games done in the 7 days, and some of them sacrificing time or getting up early to play it, for then to see another team. Oh well, we're going to have an extra 2-3 days. Thank you very much.
We're really savage on it in Fabble. Basically, for all of our leagues, they're all 1 week. You know, 1 game per week. And if you're not done by the Sunday, then whoever's in charge of that league will just look at the communication and go, who made more of an effort? Bam, their victory.
Yep.
No questions asked, no debate, no, you know, just done, bam, move on. And it has to be when you're running, like John Norman runs a league at last count that had something like 80 players in it over like 6, that's what the league you and me are in together, over what is it now, 9 or 10 divisions or something. It's mental, the amount of organisation that goes into that. And if he faffed about waiting for people, it'd just never happen.
Yeah, it'd just be a nightmare. Exactly, and that's how it should be. I mean, we've got a game on the PS4 at the moment where our 4-time champion, Arzawin, hasn't played his game yet. And, I mean, he's got in contact with us today saying, look, I'm trying to get in contact with his opponent and they're trying to sort it out. But if that game's not played, then we've got to make a decision, and it includes the 4-time champion, and it's, you know, we'll discuss it and we'll make a decision. But like you said, it's 7 days. If you're really that bothered, you'll make it happen. Nobody works 7 days a week.
Yeah.
So, and you know, sometimes you might have to play at 2 o'clock in the morning. It's just the way it is. There you go. But yeah, I wasn't surprised with the High Elves winning. This surprised me though. Qualification 4, Pain 0. What the fuck happened here?
Like that's in a fight.
I mean,
I had seen it. It sounds like one hell of a game. Someone must have had a tragedy of a dice game, surely.
Yeah.
You know,
there's only they did.
Like.
Have you seen the armor breaks? I mean, the Elves outbroke the chaos, and they did 13 breaks. And they did 13 armor breaks, 3 KOs, 4 injuries, and 3 kills. So when you look at that, you sort of think, right, now I know why you got stuffed.
Yeah,
There's not much you can do when shit like that.
There's not much you can do when Nuffle just goes, here's my finger, please spin on it. There's nothing you can do. That's just crazy. And especially against Elves, they're just going to run the touchdowns in all day long.
Yeah, absolutely. So that, you know, I must admit, now, look at all them, have you seen all that XP as well? Oh, we've lost Wraithlord. I will keep talking. But yeah, if you look at all that XP, that is some crazy shit, isn't it? It's crazy shit. Let's see if I can just... He did say he had to leave for a couple of minutes, but I didn't know if he was going to go out the party, but we'll see in a minute. I'll see if I get a message of him. But yeah, I mean, that one, to me, I didn't see the game, but I presume it was a dicing. Now, Dracass... I believe could have come up with something easy to pronounce. Dracassans, is it? Against Nomam MK2. Obviously, most people would expect ex-champion Drick to go through. 3-0's an impressive score, but by the sounds of it, his team got bashed big time. So let's have a look. This is where Amblan's are back. Oh, he's back. No, he hasn't. Hang on a minute. Here we go. Back he comes. Can you hear me? Yeah. I don't know. I have no idea. Are we just talking about get your audio. Oh, bloody hell! Look at
I
all
am
this.
re-included. Excellent.
Woo! We've moved on to the dicing.
Yep.
We moved on to the dicing and talking about Drick's game, what he won 3-0. Well, that doesn't sort of surprise me, but apparently Mutt said he did beat his team up pretty badly.
Yes,
so I'm just trying to find his team. There it is. But again, you see, I've just realised we can't see unless he's already gone through. Oh, he has. Well done, Trev. Oh, God. Yeah, here we go.
Yeah.
Ooh. Oh, wow. This is why sometimes I don't like playing with elves, because this shit happens. Wow. Oh, man.
That's going to hurt next game, isn't it?
Yeah, I to be honest, I don't think next game would worry him. It's if he ends up going against Cass, will be more of a concern. But that is 2 games away. What's up with this guy?
There's a lot of opportunity for dead elves between now and then.
Yeah, and that's the problem, isn't it?
Yeah. See, this is the thing. This is why I like, as much as I always want to play elves, I can just never bring myself to do it, because I'll play 5 games and then end up with 3 deaths in a match or something.
Yeah, that's pretty brutal. But he's done it before. He's still
this is the thing, though. As long as you've got 2 decent players, you can play with 9 linemen with elves, 9 journeymen, with elves if you need to. They still do shit on a 2+.
The interesting thing, though, is against the Pro Elves next, isn't he? He's against the Pro Elves.
That's going to be an interesting game.
4-0. So all of a sudden you're thinking, well, Drick will sort it. But then all of a sudden you're like, oh, hang on a minute. This better be one of those 5-4 games. It better not be one of these boring fucking 1-0 shit things. Because I've seen that
2-1 on the grind.
You expected a score fest, and it's very cagey.
I reckon that'll be the game of the finals in terms of scoring. I reckon it'll probably be the most exciting game.
Now, this next one's an interesting one. Darkside Dream Pirates against a rare human, whatever you call it. Now, I mistook the coaches of Santa No Clothes and this Arar guy, and it's Pat Bat, who always seems to get good dice against me, and he's so frustrating to play against. It's not that I can't beat him, it's just that he just seems to roll gold against me.
Yeah.
But Darkside Dream Pirates, now they're a decent team when I saw them. I don't know if they've lost anybody. And his reward is to play Calcium Cass's Dwarfs.
Yeah.
So that's very nice for him, isn't it? Play one of the most brutal teams. Here it is,
yeah,
1640 TV.
Yeah.
Let's have a look. Who's he got missing? Has he got anyone missing? I mean, he ain't got any... No, he's got no missing, so, he's full strength.
He's good.
120k in the bank. I don't know the coach at all. EW 40 below. Never heard of him, I'll be honest.
Sorry.
14 wins, 2 draws, 6 losses.
I apologise.
Yeah. And I'm going to upset him even more now. Not because that is not an impressive record. 14 wins, 2 draws, 6 losses. Pretty poor record. But by the sounds of it, later on he did actually win a lot more. Maybe he just got a bad start. He lost to Rambo's Ratman, but then beat Rambo's Ratman. He actually beat Noble House of Eid, but that could have been a crash. Looking at the score, let's have a look. Yeah, concede, might have been a crash.
I'd say so.
It's an interesting one. I hate trying to guess when I don't know the coach. His record ain't great. He's got a few good wins in there. It's a decent team. It's 1640 TV against Anger Management. Let's just quickly have a look at them.
Oh, yeah.
They're going to be... Where are they? Oh, God, I'm terrible. There they are. 2140. Fuck me.
Yeah,
that's
he's
high.
He's going to get a lot of money.
360, 500
500.
TV. He's got one.
Yep.
And then he's got 120 in the bank, so 620 he could spend against the Dwarfs.
Damn.
I don't know because I don't because it's a really awkward one because people say, oh, well, Kaz should win, blah 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 blah. Very similar to me against Kozlov. Oh well, you're so much high TV than him, but I always think it's if you can get some good star players.
Yeah.
I mean, Dark Elves have got some decent ones. It's hard for me to decide who would win this match because I've never seen anyone play. We know Kaz knows how to play dwarfs. He made the money with dwarfs on the PS4 last season, and he only got beat by the four-time champion. So there's no shame in that. Kaz looks to get a good draw. I've always said Kaz is always very fortunate with his draws. He always gets draws I wish I had. If someone came around to me and said, right, put money on one of them two teams, I'd put money on Kaz all day, every day of the week. I know what I get from Kaz. He's a great player, plays dwarfs well. Kaz is saying the Death Roller is going. And Kaz said he was 1900, but now 1640. Yeah, maybe he's lost some people, Kaz, I'm not sure. And the Death Roller's going. Yeah, Death Roller probably won't do very well against Dark Elves, so that might be a good call. But I don't know. I thought anger management's problem would be if he met Drukassans. And I still stand by that. But Drukassans are getting beat up a bit, aren't they? Calcification, I mean, bloody hell, 4-0, that's impressive. So maybe it's not that easy for him at all.
But I mean, I think Kaz could easily drop 140 off his TV, even without dropping the Death Roller. You know, I'd drop the Death Roller and one of the Longbeards, bring yourself back down to 13 players, lose 250k, take half his inducements off him.
Yeah,
you know,
it's awkward though, because Kaz
playing with 15 players with dwarves is just really weird. Like you very rarely see people do it.
Kaz always has big benches. He basically doesn't give a fuck about TV inducements. He doesn't care. Yeah. He wants his bench, maybe it's to foul or whatever. Because I think he basically wants it if I lose this because I got beat, not because I lost 5 players and didn't have enough players for the second half. Obviously, he's got the Death Roller, so obviously, you know, that obviously he only has that for one drive unless he has the Brab. I don't know what he's going to do. I feel that my mentality
and he's got,
on the Xbox.
Have you seen Kaz has got the Wizard Shop as well?
Yeah, he does. He likes that. He always has.
He likes the Wizard Shop. Yeah,
he likes it. He just like it. And to be honest, when your opponent won first 10, lightning bolts the Death Roller, why wouldn't you take a Magic Shop? I mean, I mean, I don't know. I mean, why on earth would lightning bolt the Death Roller of turn 1? I have no idea. But it is what it is. But no, he likes it. He likes his deep benches. He always has done. He said he's going to probably get rid of the Death Roller. He could lose other players, I agree, but I suppose it's a long tournament, and if he's got his eyes on the big prize and he starts losing players and he has to retire them, he'll be glad that he's got the extra players, but inducement-wise, it's giving a lot of cash, isn't it? I'm in the same predicament.
Well, I mean, those two, for his 14th and 15th player, those two unskilled Longbeards basically cost him, you know, well, I would normally say a wizard, but, you know, a re-roll and a bloomin' babe or whatever, or a star player, just by having those two sitting on the bench for most of the game. Like, I mean, it makes sense during the season, I understand, but, you know, against the teams he's playing in his half the draw, I don't know. It's, you know, if he gets diced by someone and loses 3 players in the first half, he'll look like a genius. If they sit on the bench all day, he'll look like an idiot. You know, it's one of those things.
Yeah,
you never know how it's going to work out.
Yeah, I mean, he is actually away in his next match. So, I just checked the Dark Elves don't have any enhancements, so there'll be no free wizard for Kaz. In fact, there'll be
I reckon there will be for his opponent.
Yeah, I mean, Kaz will only get home advantage now is if he reaches the final. That's the only time he'll get home advantage.
Yeah.
So that's that.
No wizard for him.
Next page. Little Big Bros, Tizzle Bizzles Ogres getting it done. That was a game.
What's the team name? Little Big Bros.
It was against Vampires, I think. So interesting matchup. Obviously, Trevor's a very good coach. I played him before. He's a pain in the ass. And Cass is saying Wraith is right, gonna drop a long beard. So there you go.
There you go.
There you go. You see,
we do agree with.
Compliments. Cass is playing nice. He's giving you compliments. He agrees with you.
Yeah. Well, it makes sense.
So
yeah, it's not.
It does make
just
sense.
Because,
yeah. You are right. You are right. And like I say, you got sometimes you just got to trust in AV9, haven't you? It's as simple as that.
Yeah.
So the Ogres got through. The next game though, the Odin Dancers, I was gobsmacked they got through. Because Rambo always does well in the first round. It's a well-known fact. If you get Rambo in the first round, you go out. But not this time.
Not this time.
And he went out 2-0, and he came on saying things like, "I play too nice. I'm going to get nasty. I'm going to make Cass look like a cuddly teddy bear," or something to that extent. He's going to, no, this was after the game. He said this game, the game, and then he played the game with his
game, right? Yeah, I think when he was talking about before the game.
No, he lost this game. He lost this game, then lost the game with his choice where he lost 2 players and basically said, look, this is changing me as a coach. I'm going to be a lot more nastier. I'm going to be more nasty than Calcium Cars. He's going to be like, he didn't say teddy bear, but he was something on that sort of line.
Yeah.
And then I was like, but you play Nurgle kill teams. You're trying to make out that you're a nice guy, but you go around wrecking teams anyway. Now you're claiming you're going to wreck teams. Well, he was doing that anyway. So, even your scary guys, you try to
what am I going to do? I'm going to play to a more bashy team than like Nurgle or Chorfs.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right then.
Yeah, so I was like, I could sense his frustration and salt levels. We all get there.
Well, yes,
I was like, Rambo's always I always class him as the smiling assassin because I love the guy to bits, but he'll quite gladly kill you full team if given the chance. But I must admit, I was gutted for him because I love Rambo and I was hoping to get through. Just for the fluff of the first round, so but it is what it is. It goes out. There's no freebies, and unfortunately, he's out. No. So Odin Dancers against Tizzle Bizzles. Oh man, we could see the Ogres go through again. I mean, I quite fancy the Ogres in that.
No,
I think.
I mean, my gut tells me to bet against the Ogres every time, but then
absolutely. Yeah,
my gut also tells me not to bet against Tizzle. It's one of those things. It's like good coach, shit. Well, I'm not talking about his particular team, but Ogres as a race are a shit team. Yeah, it's a tough one.
And the thing is, as well, it's going to get a lot of inducements because only 8:30. He's only got the 4 Ogres, so he'll be able to get a lot of toys. Just trying to find the other team, the Odin Dancers. They'll be there somewhere. God, I think I need glasses. There we go. Oh yeah, it's my mate, isn't it? Trexel. Oh yeah, bloody hell! I'm going to say even more by saying the Ogre's going to win. This team's battered as well. Jesus Christ! For 9 players, and he's going to add another 2 on that, so his TV is going to be a lot higher.
I can't find the team. Is it Odin's or Odin? Dancers.
Odin. Odin. Odin.
Dancers.
Yeah.
Cool. That's why I couldn't find it because I was spelling it wrong.
I fancy the Ogres. I do, honestly. I really fancy the Ogres in this one. I think with a bit of inducements, I'd even pretended to go balls out and go for Morg or someone and just give him the ball and go, right, he's just to bash his way through. He could cause absolute carnage. But I would think the Ogres might go through. I think they'll probably get smashed in the round after, but I can see them getting through that one. I must admit.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm going to go against you there, mate. I think the Ogres are going to go out here. I think he's done very well to get them where they are, and full respect to him. And you know, he's a good bloke. But I can't bet on the Ogres for this. I just can't.
Yeah, but. You know what? The reason I'm going for the Ogres is this. The Ogres will have the inducement so they can get whatever they want. Norse are going to only have 11 players maximum. They're only going to get 11. They're all AV7. Now, he's got plenty of Nobblers. He can buy some more Nobblers. So kick the shit out of them on the floor because it doesn't matter if your Nobblers get injured, does it? Just keep kicking them on the floor. I'd maybe even get buy a Nobbler with a level 2 and give him sneaky git. Keep beating them on the floor. Get a few of them down. Your Ogres will beat some down as well. Make sure the Yeti gets taken out pretty quickly. Bob's your uncle. You win your 2 round.
His linemen have block. His journeymen, have block.
Oh.
Like, it's gonna... Yeah, I just...
Most players are block. I'm trying to be positive. I think.
Yeah. I'm trying to be positive about the Ogres losing.
Yeah.
I'm positive that they're going to lose. I'm not joking.
Trevor,
if you're listening, but
what they say about my tip being cursed, just ignore them. My tips aren't cursed, honestly. I never get the tip wrong.
Well,
if it looks
between
wrong,
us,
it's because the coach didn't get it right.
Mate, remember how we did the bracket thing last season with the finals? The first game destroyed mine. So my tips aren't great either. Let's be honest. I literally first game that got played, I was like, well, yep, there's my tips out the window.
Yeah. And like you said, it depends on how the Yeti behaves as well. I just think this is a good game for the Ogres. If I'm the Ogres here, I am rubbing my hands and then weeping if I get through to the next two.
I think this is probably, it's probably the best draw for him possible out of anyone.
Yes.
He's still going to be getting lots of inducements. His opponent's going to have Tubman, Journeyman. It's as good as it's going to get, but I just can't bring myself to bet on Ogres. But then again, I bet against him in the first round, so what would I know?
Oh, there you go, you see. Kenwood Chameleons versus Dead Sea Pirates hadn't been played yet, so we'll pass that one. Howlers, 2-0 winners. Oh, it felt like, no disrespect to his opponent, it felt like a training match. He's such a good player. And I think if the draw's been very canned for him, I think he'll go quite deep into the competition. He's got a good team now. He's got movement now and agility for werewolf.
What was the team name?
Howlers.
Just straight up Howlers.
With two S's on the end.
Aha, that's why I can't find it. Cool.
But it's a no frills team with a very good werewolf. Did he lose a werewolf though? He's only got the one werewolf. I'm not sure.
Must have done at some point. Don't know when that was.
Did he lose it last game? I wonder.
He's also still got two level ups to do as well. So who knows what could happen there?
The other wolf has got legend status. So a lot of it goes through that wolf and inducements. Because it's low TV, a lot of times he's going to be able to get Cheney as well. So he gets himself a nice strength 4 werewolf as well. So I think Howells will do well.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't really know. I think he'll probably win the next game, and I think he'll win. I think he'll be the semi-final. I think he'll get to the semi-finals, and then he'll play one on my side of the draw. Who would that may be? I don't know. So I think Howell's looking good. The game I think Calcium Cast is actually going to be tomorrow is Page versus Kraken 13. Kraken 13.
Oh, that'll be good.
Oh yeah, I mean it's right down Cass's street. It's going to be a brutal game. I mean Page have got it all to do. They do have 2 claw pieces though, so hey, when you've got a bit of claw, you're all right. I'll just have a look at the Kraken. Now, everyone said the Kraken's better than my team. That's fine. I don't mind playing the underdog.
It's Kraken 13,
it's a scary
isn't it?
team. Yeah, it's a scary team. The coach is very good. It's just a nasty team. Very high TV. Ironically, my TV is higher than his. So God knows what I've done there. 21-30, 14 players. Now, we're talking about casts with obviously all these players. Both Nagel teams have a lot of players. The Kraken's got 14 players.
You see, the difference is with Rotters though is Rotters are worth half as much as Kaz's excess players. I don't mind having 4, maybe 4. I mean, I probably wouldn't have 15 if it was me, but I imagine I'd be sacking that one that's got an agility minus.
Yeah.
1 SPP and minus 1 agility. He'd be going out the door pretty quickly if that was my team. But Cro Magnus again, he's a good coach, and he's built a good team. Even if he comes up against one of the really, the really sneaky elf teams, he's got 3 really good tackle destroyer pieces.
Yeah. I mean, it's against the guy. Sorry, it's against the guy. I don't know if you know anything about him. Is it Kagoins or Kaganais or something like that? I don't know. Team name's called Page.
Is it just Page? It's cool. Let's have a look.
Page, yeah. It's just undeveloped team, but it does have 2 claw pieces, but one of them hasn't got block. He will get inducements. He has got 150 in the bank. Where I would strongly recommend he uses all 150 of it. he's got a couple of guard pieces. Looking at the team,
yeah, it's just a very, very unskilled team.
Yeah,
really, he's got lots of stat ups. That's and like as much as I love stat ups, sometimes in this league format, like that Movement 7 Beastman, you'd probably be better off giving him a skill at this point in the season, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I would have done. I turned it down.
I mean, it depends on when you never know. He might have got that Movement 7 guy on the first day of the season and then never scored again with him.
Yeah, never leveled up. Yeah.
It looks like he's just had 2 MVPs, to be honest.
He's got one really nice ball carrier, agility 4, blodge, sidestep.
Yeah.
He's got to protect him and make sure he does not get hit. Bit like.
But he's going to get. But then, as I said, he's got those 3 guys, 2 with claw, and the other one, and mighty blow, and the other one just with mob, who've got tackle.
Yeah.
If you had 2 or 3 blodge pieces, that'd be one thing. But that guy is going to be public enemy number 1. And he should get blasted off the pitch in short order if that guy knows what he's doing.
Yeah. I mean, he's going to have, about 1610, something like that. Sorry, 610 inducements to spend. I would definitely be looking at 2 bibs. Definitely get that.
Yeah.
Probably, then you got to spend, probably get a wizard and then get a really good star player and then just pray. That's all I can suggest. It can do it though. We saw Elves absolutely destroy the other Chaos team. So like I say, you can roll decent dice and you play well. And this team did beat Drick. So nobody else managed to do that apart from. So I mean, I know Drick said he's playing safe, and I understand that, but he still beat him 2-1, and that's with the Chaos team. What's not got has he actually got any tackle? Don't even think he's got any tackle.
He hasn't got a single tackle player.
So even Drick playing safe, it's still a big achievement when you beat someone like that.
I mean, this team kind of looks to me like he's lost a couple of key players at some point during the season.
I don't know.
I don't know if I've seen it. I've not seen it, but it does kind of. It looks like my Lizard Man team that I just retired from the Premier League. You're just like I've lost 4 or 5 really important players in a short span of time.
It'll be interesting to see what happens. I mean, the Kraken will be big favourites to win, but it wouldn't surprise me if this goes down to a really close game. If you was putting money on, you'd go with the Kraken, but it's close.
I think this is going to come down to overtime, man. I think this is going to be an overtime game. Basically, whoever is, barring shocking dice, I see it being 1-1 and then being luck of the draw in overtime, really. If both coaches play well,
it should be a great game. It's great that
it's going to be savage. Yeah, it'll be right up his street.
I'll be definitely tuning
He'll love
towards
it. Nurgle v Chaos. He'll love that.
I just want to see both teams kill each other. That's what we want.
Yeah, absolutely. There'll be lots of violence and death.
Oh, there better be. It better not be pillow fighting because that'd be most depressing.
I think you're going to have 6 claw pieces on the pitch in total or something.
There's going to be piling on all sorts, isn't they? So it should be good. One game I did see most of was a game between Bully Beef and Invictus. Now this is this guy. I've got a question later about this coach. I won't talk much about this coach, Digoku. He's obviously, I think, is he still top Chaos team in this season, C lad? Oh, he's doing really well with them. His Lizard team haven't lost many, and somehow he managed to get a 2-1 victory over.
Is that it's Invictus 12, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. This is the guy everyone's been talking about that's just come out of nowhere, isn't it?
Yep, that's the guy.
And reckon,
he's a
I reckon this
player,
guy's. I was going to say, I reckon he's an old school tabletop player, who's been playing for years, and he's just not played on console before.
Yeah.
But then again, he's going to struggle next. Look at the 3 players he's missing.
Yeah, exactly. And he'll be playing either Page or the Kraken 13. But we'll have to see.
He's going to be easy for him, but he's going to be in trouble there, I think.
But again,
especially if Kraken gets through with all that tackle, his skinks are going to die left, right, and centre.
But he will have inducements, and don't forget, he's beaten a Mighty Blow Claw Pomming team already. I think there are 2-3 Mighty Blow Claw Pommers anyway with tackle. So he's already done it once.
Yeah, but look what happened to him.
Yeah. Well, that's all right. He can get through, and if I somehow get through and he's got 3 plays left, I might have a chance. But yeah, I mean, basically, it came. it came down to overtime, and Commander Slacker made an absolute shocker in defence. And everyone saw it apart from him, I think, what was unfortunate. And that bit, and like I said, in the playoffs, you make one mistake, you get punished big time for it.
Absolutely.
And the guy just moved his one defending piece out the way and scored. It was a shame, but that's just the way it is, unfortunately. The Four Horsemen of Bernie versus get flunged. Not much to say about this. 1-5 into it, everything going well for me, then disconnects, and that was the end of that. My team is crazy on TV value. I don't know if there's anyone in chat. I want to ask their opinion. And I know
your team?
Yeah,
What's the team name,
Bernie? The Four Horsemen of Bernie.
Is it the number 4 or the word?
The number 4. Now, I've got a problem here, and I don't care that my opponent will listen to this and I'm giving away tactics because I don't really care. I've got 3 rerolls. I'm really considering buying a 4th reroll because I've got a feeling that because my TV is so high that people most of the season have been taking a chef against me. I'm just thinking if I get a 4th reroll, it might put people off getting a chef. But even if they do, I'm still going to have at least 1 reroll. Because my TV's so out of control now. It's like, well, what's an extra 70k? You know? I don't know what you would do, but...
well, for a start, I'd buy 2 coaching assistants and sack them, unless you're going to spend the money. No, I would...
Oh, no, yeah.
Because you're at 170k and you're giving your opponent 20k for no reason.
Yeah. I mean, that would be if I bought the extra team.
If you bought the reroll, then obviously you'd keep it. Yeah, but
if not, I'd do what you do. Yeah, I'd sack them.
So if it was me, I'd just sack all of your Nurgle warriors. But
yeah, they've got nice names, lovely names.
Yeah.
I'm just hoping Rambo first round. He isn't jinxed after what Rambo happened to Rambo. I'm hoping, he hasn't been weakened by that. Otherwise, I'll be very cross with Rambo.
Jesus, a strength 6 beast. That tentacles
he's
a bastard.
Yeah, he's a funny lad.
Your super
people go after him.
Super Pestigore.
Yeah. My other one died. He was agility 4, strength 4 was me the Pestigore. But yeah, I don't know. If the chat's pretty quiet. There's a lot of people watching, but very quiet. But would you buy a team reroll or not?
No.
That's what I want to know.
I wouldn't.
You wouldn't?
No. As I said, I'd drop the 20k. See, there's like...
Yeah, I've got in chat here. I've got in chat just Unlucky Deathball says get rid of those cheerleaders, coach assistant, and the extra rotter. You don't need a 4. You don't need a 4th reroll. And then Tizzle said I would buy the reroll. Like you said, your TV's already sky high, and that's the great thing about opinions, isn't it? We've got Deathball saying, "Whoa, get rid of this, get rid of that, get rid of this. You don't need the 4th reroll."
I've got to say,
fuck it.
I wouldn't go the extra reroll. You basically, because the thing is, you're giving by buying the extra reroll, you're paying for half of the chef. So you're pretty much, rather than preventing it, you're almost guaranteeing it, in my opinion. Or you're buying them a wizard. Either way you look at it, you're giving them a huge advantage. And a lot of the time when I play with 4 rerolls, I don't.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, but that's just my experience. Not everyone's going to agree with me, as we've already seen.
Well,
there's a very good coach saying do the opposite. In
but
Hunter,
the thing I must stress though is it comes up as I pay 140k for the team reroll, but it only adds 70 TV, so it doesn't add 140 TV.
See, because the game's retarded like that. Yeah.
So that's
sorry, I'm used to tabletop working it out myself in my head. Yeah. So sorry, you're not. You're right. So that's not as bad.
Yeah. Like I said, if it's, I'll take more money, buy it.
Yeah.
My TV's so high that he's going to be able to get 1-2 good star players. He's going to be able to get a chef. He can get what he wants. I'm just thinking about 4 rerolls.
What's the TV difference?
I don't know. Oh, it's
talking like
1,000. Yeah.
Oh shit!
It's got 1,000 now. He lost 3 players, so he's going to get some good star players and chef or whatever else he wants. He's got 150k in his own bank what he'll spend. So it's a case of I'm trying to think like Cass. What would Cass do? And Cass would probably say, "Fuck it, I want the 4th reroll." He didn't care about TV value, and this team was sort of built on Cass's philosophy that I just want to kill shit. And I honestly didn't think this team would even get to the playoffs. It was just a piss take of, I'm going to try it. I'm not as good at Cass at killing shit, but I'm going to have a go anyway. And all of a sudden, doing really well. I'm like, shit, I've got to keep with this team now. And now I'm stuck because I like. Man. Well, you see, I usually would get my Piscos would be the killers, my Nurgle Warriors would have all the guards, but obviously I've gone completely different because it's supposed to be a crazy plan, and I don't know, I'll have to think, but it'll be a tough game. But if my claw works, then Kozilek's in trouble. He better praise regen works.
Absolutely.
But there you go. So yeah, like I said, they're all tough. They're all tough games.
But they're all it's gonna be tough. But that beast's a pain in the ass.
Yeah. When he works, he's not the most reliable, I must admit. And people go after him and they're like, I'm going to try killing beast. It's like,
sorry, just ignore that ticket I accidentally sent your team. Whoops! Press the wrong button.
Me? Oh, I see. Look at this.
I accidentally invited you to a league. No, sorry. Don't worry about that.
Send me the cash. It's the cash I want. It's not the ticket I want. I want plenty of cash. So yeah,
unfortunately, I don't have €1,000 to give away in my league.
That's a disgrace.
Sorry.
I just want to use the ticket then as well. Who do you think? Last thing, which 2 teams get to the final? So one from the first page, one from the second page. Put you on the spot.
Jeez. Hang on, I can't actually see the bracket. How do I see the bracket? Where is it?
Basically,
I've just been looking at.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. If you go to the Champions Cup and then go to schedule, it'll have all the results. On the tab, go into schedule. That's all the results there. So, and then the first page, you want to pick one team out the first page, and then they'll play the.
Hang on a minute. How do I
page.
See? I didn't have a team in that Champions Cup though, so I don't even know if I'm going to be able to view the league. Shit.
If you can't, it doesn't matter.
It does.
See, I was looking at Drick to get through, but his team's fallen apart already. But I quite like. Tell you what, I quite like. Najeen's. I think.
Yeah, I was going to say I quite like Najeen's. I think he's a good coach, and he's got the experience, and he's got a good team. And then
the final last time.
I'm going to go Blade. I'm going to go Blade from the second half.
Yeah. I think Gnome Slayer is a dark horse. I'm impressed the way he plays elves.
Sean's always a dark horse. But this is the thing. On any given day, any of these coaches, as you said, you make 1 or 2 mistakes or have 1 or 2 critical dice rolls go your way against any of the players, and you're in trouble. And you can say that about lots of coaches that don't even make the finals. But anyone can beat anyone on any given day. It's tough just getting there, mate, as I've proved.
Yeah, right. Ask Bernie. So we'll get to the questions.
Go on.
We'll get to the questions.
Ask
My partners are somehow still alive.
Quick.
Tizzle Bizzle says Noble House of Eld versus the Kraken 13. Fair enough.
Nice.
A lot of love for Kraken 13. A lot of love for Kraken 13.
It's a good team. It's a very good team.
It's a shame they're going out tomorrow. It's a shame. You don't all you start rushing to my poor Nurgle team after they go crashing out tomorrow. We're not bitter or nothing. My team has feelings. Honest. Right, Ask Bernie questions. I've got a few, so let's go through them. I'll ask the questions. You can answer it first, and obviously then I'll answer it. Has Cass finally fallen out with his love for chaos? I can only presume that will be to do with he's been playing a lot of Chaos Dwarfs, and various other teams. Do you think Cass has decided, I don't love Chaos anymore, I'm going to play different teams? Or is it the case of he's had a look at Digoku's Chaos and thought, you know what, I think it might be a better chance for me to qualify with Chaos Dwarfs, maybe? I don't really know. But what do you think? Do you think he's starting to... His love affair, you think, is on the wane?
Well, I mean, there's, it's a kind of similar sort of play style anyway. I don't think it's that much of a transition, but I think it's probably more to do with the fact that he's looked at, You know, because after the success that Chaos have had, lots of good coaches are playing them, and I think he's kind of looked at that and maybe gone. I mean, I could be way off base, but I think he's maybe looked at that and gone, well, I've got an easier shot with this team. I mean, I think, Chaos Dwarves is always a tight one, but yeah, I don't know. It's hard to know what he's thinking, but that's what if I was making that decision, that's probably why I'd be making it. So that's all I can really go off.
There is a wildcard spot as well, what he could have gone for. Yeah. I mean, there is. I mean, Rambo's got the case.
Maybe he's just getting bored. Maybe he just wants to prove, because we always the one thing we always say about Kaz as well is, he's a one-trick pony. Maybe this is his way of giving everyone who says that, myself included, the finger, and just going, fuck you, I can play another team. Maybe there's a bit of that to it as well. He does love telling everyone to fuck off.
I've had this discussion before with people, but it's like they say, but he's picked Dwarfs. They're a bash heavy team. Case Dwarfs, they're a bash heavy team.
Yeah, they are. That's why I said they're similar play styles, but who knows?
I tell you what, I'd like to play
the day we see him playing elves, then we'll know that he's done it. Really got bored.
He played them. He's played them. I don't know if he finished top or whatever. His Dark Elves got beat by my 6-game Bretts, and I think that put him off because
that's probably why he's given them up then. That's genius.
Yeah, I could sort of understand he had a real good team, and he said himself he didn't play it very, very well because he's used to the bash, and you like to play what you're comfortable with, and he plays Chaos well.
He's a good enough coach that, like a lot of coaches, that he can pick up most teams and be decent with them, with a few games practice.
Yeah, I mean, people said to me, and he said himself, he plays humans very, very well. And he's always said he's going to play humans, but I'm still waiting for him to actually go ahead and play them. I think that would be really good to see him play. Something completely different.
Yeah.
And Ron Bino's just said, I've just handed Rambo's Chorfs a DC win, not impressed. I really feel for you, mate. I mean, it's...
Mm-hmm.
And Ronald's in the chat now. Wasn't you one of them who said, I don't know if it was a week or 2 weeks ago, I apologise if I've got this wrong, but you said, DCs don't really affect me. And,
he was. That's Anthony Brooks.
So
and that sucks.
It's frustrating,
as much as there's a small part of me that wants to go, well, let's see how you like it. That sucks.
Yeah, it does suck. I mean, the thing is, and this is what puts people off the game, though, isn't it? It's just bull. It really is. It's. But like I said, all as admins, we're all telling them, and if you guys can keep sending your chat logs, even if it's not in the Sea Lad, if it's in private leagues and something happens, just send them. That's all we can do. But there you go. Now then, do you believe this Dagoku guy is new at the game?
Not at the game, no. Not at the game, not at all. And I think I swear I saw in some chat on the CCL Facebook page that he had said he was a tabletop player.
Yeah, I mean that's basically.
There's no way he is new to Blood Bowl. He may very well be new to Xbox, or to Blood Bowl 2. But no, I would put large chunks of money on it that he's not a new. Either that or he's been very, very, very heavily coached.
Yeah,
that's the only other possibility.
Yeah, if he was new to the game, then we're all in a world of trouble. If you just start playing the game and you're that good with no extra experience, then
then he's going to win all the money for the next decade. Good on him.
Yeah, but I think played as well as a tabletop. So if you play tabletop, it's basically almost the same thing. A few different rules, but the mechanics are almost all there. So.
It's so marginal, man. I didn't play tabletop for a year and a half. I went to a tabletop tournament, got best Lizardman player, and came second team overall. It's no different. You've just got to roll the dice yourself, so you know that it's your fault when they're shit.
Yeah. If Drick was offered to play for Team Xbox or Team PC in the Platform Cup Season 2, who would he pick? Obviously,
that's a tough one because I don't really know him. I don't really know him very well, so that would be a complete guess and a coin flip, to be honest. So I'm going to say PC, just because it was the first one that came into my head. No other reason.
Yeah, it's funny. It's funny. Everyone's been saying it's been a double agent. Is Drick bit of a spy? And he was trying to be nice.
Well, man,
trying to be nice to Xbox, but giving PC loads of information. I don't know. I don't know who
was this during the cross-platform cup?
Oh yeah. The Xbox lads wanted Drick to play, but he wouldn't pay for the legendary thing. And then Command Slack said, "Well, we'll have a whip round for you." And we're like, "No." And then there was reports that he was, giving the PC a lot of information, and that's where the double agent and the spy quotes came from regarding Drick. Drick saying having 1,000. Drick saying having 1,000 Xbox games. So he I don't know. In a way, if it was me, I'd guess it'd probably go Xbox. But in a way, it'd be funny if it went PC, because then he'd be a right villain. Yeah. He'd almost be as hated as Cass, wouldn't he? That's what it'd be like. Yeah. I think he'd play the villain quite well. I don't know. I think he'd go Xbox.
I don't know, man. As I said,
I think what he'll do. This is what he'll do. He'll say, "Look, guys, I really want to play Team Xbox, but I don't have Legendary Edition, so unfortunately, I'm gonna have to play for Team PC." That'll be what he'll say, and that's what I think. The next one's an interesting one. I hope I've read this right. Who would win a no-holds mud wrestling match in Tiny Black Budgie Smugglers between Calcium Cass or Big D Burrows? Who would you put your money on?
Oh, Big D. Oh, Jesus. Well, apparently Kaz does know Taekwondo, but I don't know how that'll translate into a mud wrestling arena.
Yeah, because Taekwondo's all about feet, isn't it? It's all about leg fighting.
The high kicks might be a bit slippery in those circumstances.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to go with Big D just because he's a maniac.
Yeah, he's a big lad as well, isn't he? He's quite tall. He's a big unit. I think Cass is almost as old as me. Bless him.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm just trying to think how I'm trying to not get visions of Cass walking around in black.
Just from listening to, I don't want to think about the physicality of that. I don't want that mental image. Thank you very much.
No, I know.
Like, I'm imagining them more in really bad 80s WWE costumes or something.
Yeah, maybe Cass could have one of those Borat costumes on, and then a Big D throw up,
please no,
and then he'll be able to take some sort of advantage. I'll go for Calcium Cass because he'll find a way to bring a chainsaw onto the pitch or something, won't he? He'll try something dodgy, and then he'll win the match and then get sent off, some shit like that.
Yeah, something like that.
So I'll go with Cass so he feels loved. But yeah, interesting question.
They're asking the tough ones today, mate. This is proper reporting. This.
Absolutely. Our kill team's taking over the Xbox. It's I
don't think so. The problem is, and this is something that we've spoken about quite a bit on the Facebook group, is that the length of this format favours the kill team, because and the style of this format favours the kill team. And I've always, since this debate came up, I've always said I think the best solution would be to play one season as a ladder, play one season as a res format.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because that completely changes the dynamic. And I agree with him. I do. I 100% agree with him. I think, because you would see a completely different style of play, and this is the thing, playing tabletop. This is where playing tabletop does really differ to the Xbox. Is all of the big tournaments on tabletop are 1100 or 1300 TV res format, where you get a set number of skills. And it's easy to do. You just download the format from the NAF website. It's all on there. It would take 5 seconds for them, to organise, and it would completely change the dynamic of which teams are effective. Because Chaos teams aren't a tier 1 team in that situation, but they are, Chaos and Nurgle are pretty much the tier 1 teams in this situation. And it would be good to encourage people to try different stuff and different styles, and because Blood Bowl's not all about how well you build a team, and the Champions League kind of is.
Yeah, I think that's why a lot of people wanted this res format. People say about the kill teams being obviously it favours them, but kill teams have had a really bad record of winning the Champions Cup.
Yeah,
it's only been very late on. It's only been very late on that all of a sudden now the kill teams sort of are getting it done. It all started when Rambo won with Nurgle, and ever since then, K-Swarfs have been doing well. And Chaos won it on the Sea Ladder last season. Nagel won it on the PS4 this season, just gone as well. I'm not too sure about on the PC, but all of a sudden it seems like they are getting a bit more successful now. Regarding Res, I was always a big hater of Res. I definitely didn't want us to go Res, but then we did the Platform Cup and we bumped it up a bit higher, so if people wanted to play Chaos or them sort of teams, they still could. And people like Dricken that said, we should use this as the for the Sea Ladder. It'd be perfect. And I would like one of the formats to try it out because I think it'll be quite. I think it's really well.
Whatever formats you pick, I just think some variety would be good. Mix up the format. It mixes up the skill set. It mixes up, the planning and the style of play and the teams you play, and it changes so many things. And I think you'd see, and I'm not saying different coaches would win, but it just encourages different styles of thinking and
and
different.
The thing is as well though, because it's Resurrection, you're not you don't have to worry about your team getting wrecked, so people play them. Ronald Bino saying
no reason not to play.
Yeah. Ronald Bino saying a lot more admin checking. Ronald Bino said a lot more admin checking all the teams though, and that is a fair point. I mean, when we've discussed this before, you would have to have it where you would request to join the league, and then we would obviously see the team, make sure it fits.
Do you know how many teams we approve in Fabble every week?
No.
Lots. Absolute shitloads.
We could do it. We could do it.
They would have fair enough. It would be a lot of work, but it would be for like 2 or 3 days. It'd be a lot of work at the beginning of the season, and then it'd die off almost immediately. Like I understand what he's saying. It is it would be a big load for those couple of days, but it just means people would have to be patient.
It would be nice to see it. I'd want around about 1,500, so it's fair to everybody. But I mean, people. I mean, this is what was quite surprising about the Platform Cup. Is people
you said it however you want.
Everybody loved the rules. They loved the TV value roughly, and we was real surprised. This should be the Sea Ladder template. If it'll ever be like that, I don't know. But I think you are right. It would be good to try something like that. Yes, it would be more work for the admins, but it's something I've been tempted on the PS4 to run and try out. But again, people don't like change. That's the problem. You don't want to upset the community. That's the thing. And if they enjoy what they've got now,
but at the same time, if this whole feeling that kill teams are dominating this question has come up quite a few times. So obviously there's a fairly large group of players who are feeling that way. So the only way to sometimes to fix something, you have to make a mistake. And if this is a mistake, we try it for a season. It's 6 weeks. It's not the end of the world. If is it going to be any worse than the problems we're having now with I think to fix something you've got to try changing it. Yeah, but that's just that's just my opinion.
I honestly think it'd get a lot of people annoyed, but if they give it a chance, I think a lot of people will enjoy it. They don't have to worry about the players being killed, and they're allowed to pick what they want. And we was going on this. This is great. This is fantastic. And then I said, we have a major problem, and the reason why this will never be used as a Sea Ladder thingy is because you need a legendary edition to be able to play it, because obviously you need to be able to give your team
fair point skills, you need to be able to custom team
and that's why we stopped on the PS4 in this track. As soon as we realised that was like crap, we can't do it.
I look at all the people that play in the Champions League and I think how many of them honestly don't have legendary edition?
Don't know, but
it can't be many. Come on.
Don't know.
And you're talking idea. I mean, what was the upgrade? 20 quid?
Well, Drake, he hasn't got it. He didn't get it for the PC.
Yeah, fair enough. But
I don't know. I mean, that was the thing what stopped it for us.
I understand.
We was tempted, and that stopped us in our tracks. I'll be honest.
Did anyone try taking any kind of do you guys have a Facebook group for the PS4?
No,
sort of
not
league
no,
and stuff.
We have.
It'd be interesting to take a poll on the Xbox One and see how many people don't actually have Legendary Edition and how many people wouldn't be able to play if they did that. It'd just be interesting to know, because it could shock me, and you could find out that 50% of people don't have it, and then in that case the whole idea is completely pointless. You're right.
That's a good point. But we were just thinking, obviously, because of let's have a look. Oh wow, right. I'm just looking what Ronaldinho said. He said obviously he DC'd and lost to Rambo. Rambo then played again, and his opponent DC'd. So he's had 2 DC wins, and now he's playing Ronaldinho.
See, and that's
just 2 easy wins.
He gets 4 MVPs out of that.
And double the money as well, isn't it?
Yeah,
And this is it, you see. It's not Rambo's fault, and it's not Ronald's fault or anyone else's fault. It's just the game's fault.
It's no one's fault. Yeah, like, see, you can't, I mean, I've got to admit, there's been times when I've been playing in the Champions League in seasons gone by, and, some guys DC'd against me, and my reaction has been, thank God for that. Because I'm about to get pounded.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's good. I mean,
but you take them when they come, but it's disappointing.
Drick said,
but
I
mean, no offense to him. I know absolutely no offense to him when I say this, and I hope he can understand the direction I'm coming from when I say this. But I'm kind of almost glad that Anthony's had to experience it now, because I think now that'll give him a better understanding of where we're coming from. And I wish it hadn't happened to him. I wish it never happened to anyone, But I'm glad he has experienced, the frustration that we all face.
I mean, to be fair to Bino, he said that's his first one in the year, so he was due one.
Yeah.
But if he now
we've had this conversation,
more,
me and him before.
Yeah.
I hope he doesn't.
If this one was
I hope
to
he
DC,
doesn't. But
if this game was to DC now, you'd be pretty frustrated, wouldn't you? But
the thing is, he may lose this, now because of skills that have been gained in those previous 2 DCs or players that have been bought because of those DCs. It's not just a case of he's himself. It might have a massive knock-on effect, because if I get 2 DCs in a row and then I win the 3rd game because of my guy having sprint. And then I win the next game because of my guy then having sprint and nerves of steel, and then and it just snowballs, and it's just crazy.
And the thing is,
what is it? The butterfly effect.
Yeah, there's 2 Case-Dwarf catchers trying to catch this team, and they'll be so soul destroyed. I know Kaz won't be happy. There you go, 2 nice free wins. Thanks very much. And it is what it is. Drick is saying
the season I only threw the towel in, man. I had that against my direct Lizard Man opponent. I DC'd twice in 2 games to him, and and that was the difference between me being top qualifying Lizard Man and him being top qualifying Lizard Man. And I couldn't keep playing to catch him because I was on 5 DCs.
Yeah. It's frustrating.
It's just soul destroying. So, for once, I actually have some sympathy for you, Kaz. I really do.
For once. Drick saying he's got most of the teams. I don't know if on the PC. He's a bit like me. I don't have a Legendary Edition for the Xbox, but I do have a lot of the teams. I've bought a lot of the teams, but not Legendary Edition. So I wouldn't be able to play the
there you go.
The Regeneration. But I would probably, to be fair, I'd probably go and buy it because I'd have a reason to buy it. So
that's the thing.
It is what it is. So it would, I suppose, help people out with it. But
which you would think would be reason alone why Cyanide would at least consider the idea.
Yeah. Unlucky Deathball is saying he feels the stadium enhancements favour kill teams. I don't know if I agree with that. I don't know about you.
No, I don't necessarily agree with that. I think
Wizards favour Elves big time.
Yeah, I think Wizards favour any non-bashy team, because if a team has to cage against you, you just wizard them. Yeah. I think most of them are pretty.
Bribes.
I think most of them are pretty neutral. Well, Bribes favours halflings. It favours certain teams, but not bashy teams really.
No.
I don't really agree with that.
No, I don't.
I mean, well,
everyone's
if you're playing certain bashy teams where you do a lot of surfing, then I suppose some of them, but it's very situational and very minor. I think.
Yeah.
If anything.
Yeah, I agree. I think if anything helps elves with the wizard. I think that's the main one.
Yeah.
But I've never been a big fan of.
Although
wizards.
being able to lightning bolt those bastard war dancers, it works both ways.
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah, there is that.
Even if you do just put him down and then jump on his head when he's got the ball.
Yeah. This is a weird. This is a really weird one.
Does it involve underpants in any way?
No, it doesn't. It doesn't.
Okay, cool. Proceed.
Obviously, everybody knows that I'm an Englishman,
yes.
and Cass is an Englishman, and we're not very impressed with the Americans because of all the fucking guns they have and they like to kill each other. And obviously, coming from England,
we're getting a bit political here, but yeah.
Yeah. But just I've got to put that in there so you all got the backstory. Who would start a bar brawl in Texas, Bernie or Cass, and how would they start it? Like going in one of those proper American bars.
I'd say it'd be Kaz for the simple reason that he likes to talk. He loves a good bit of smack talk. If I'm sure, he just does. And I think that'd probably be the reason. Would be some smack talk over some kind of Anglo-American relations. Given that you two are both quite old, it'd probably be about the war.
The war. Well, I don't know. I mean, it's like it'll be interesting who in the chat thinks who would cause the punch-ups there, because obviously the Americans like a bit of a bar brawl.
You're too. In fact, hang on. Who are we kidding? It'd probably be the fucking Americans. Let's be honest.
Well, yeah. But which one of us two would piss them off? I think is basically what they're saying. But Cass claims to be a lefty, and it's Blood Bowl what makes him bad.
Okay.
If I'm honest, I would say it would be me who would start the bar brawl. If I really answer this honestly, I know that'll shock people. I can see Cass not being stupid enough to pick on a 6'5", built like a brick shithouse guy. I am that
but I can
stupid
see him picking
No, I would just. I'm just stupid. I always seem to. I never seem to upset people like my height, about 5'7". I always upset the 6'3", 6'4" guys. Just in sport, generally, I play a lot of sport, and that's just the way it is. But I've always been. I don't like bullies. I'll always stick. I'll always stand up to these big bullies, and if any of these Americans try to intimidate me, that'd be it. I think Cass would like, what the fuck you doing, Ben?
I don't know either of you on a personal level, really. So.
I'm soft as a brush. I'm soft as a brush, but I think I'm more likely to annoy the Americans than probably Cass. I could be wrong. Cass might just roundhouse kick one of them to kick it all off. But I would get into this rant about guns or something, piss all the Texans off, and then they'll we don't need a gun to beat you Brits up. And then Cass might say, "Oh, you fucking having a go at? Oh, you want to go?" And I'll say, and then they'll say, "Fuck it, let's have a scrap." And then I'll be under the table while everybody else fights. And then I'll crawl out and wait for everybody to wreck the place. It's a weird question, but hey,
that was a very strange question.
I've had a few. I've got a few, but that was the last one. So you're saying Cass? I'll say myself. Just hey, because I seem to upset people. The big. Oh yeah, there's one last thing. I'll get in trouble if I don't say this. Numsley wanted to know about financial fair play and minimum games played. I said about probably 10 games would be the.
I'm losing you, mate. What was that last bit?
Financial fair play and minimum games played. The financial play is something like where there's, basically you can only use I think 40, 50k for your own bank, on top of inducements, because there's some games where there's only like 20k difference. So one of them, like I think Space against Undead, Kozilek's Undead, there wasn't much difference, but
I really dislike that rule that they've put in where if you spend inducements, your opponent gets them.
Yeah, I didn't like it.
I'm totally against
I'll be
it.
Honest.
I absolutely hated it. I think they should just stop messing with the rules of Blood Bowl. I don't think it needed it.
No.
So in regards to that, I think they should scrap it all together. minimum games played, I think isn't, because my personal feeling is 10, but then I know there's a lot of seasons where that meant that several races wouldn't have been represented, which is a bad thing.
I think what it was if it would go down, if there's a halfling team, I don't know, played 40, lost 40, he would get in over a team what played 7, won 7.
7, exactly.
Yeah, I think the Xbox though is playing more games, so it's not as an issue as it was before.
No. I think that was a lot more of an issue when, but also, like, you would just play if you knew that, if that was the rule and you were 7-0, you would just play the extra 3 games. And I'm sorry, but if you can't find time to play 3 extra games for a chance to win fucking €500, then you don't deserve your spot. Like, if you can't play 10 games over 42 days, I play more than that in a week. So do most of the people I know that play.
Yeah, I think it was just a case of like people were like with like halflings, ogres, were like playing 3, won 3, might have got concedes, and then just sitting on the record, and then someone would lose a game with ogres or whatever, and then they couldn't go past them, and that's what he's trying to stop.
Yeah, exactly, and I agree with that.
We don't have anything on PS4 with the minimum games. If it was solely up to me, I would put it in there and say you have to play 10 games. The only issue is you guaranteed some of these coaches will say, well, I didn't know. Even though you'll have it plastered everywhere, they'll say they didn't see it, and then they'll be crying foul over it.
Well, it's no different than if you're not aware of the DC limit. You get banned for that, whether you're aware of it or not. So not knowing the rules of the league you're playing in is no excuse for not obeying them. Yeah. It's just like when you get pulled over by the cops.
Yeah.
That's my opinion anyway. But I would put 10 games. I think encourage people to play more games. It would, as you said, it would stop people sitting on 3-0 records with some of the lesser teams. I mean, Cyanide have always said ideally they would like people to play 42 games a season. So anything, I know. Well, it's impractical at the moment. Even if you do have the time, but. Yeah, I think 10 games over 6 weeks is not too much to ask for the Champions League. Yeah.
I mean, like I said, I think the fair inducement thing, the fair play thing is more important. I would like to go back to what it was. I know they're saying, that means the high TV teams get a big, massive advantage. But at the moment, if you've got 2 teams...
you're still giving away 1,000 inducements.
Well, that's it.
If I've got 150k in the bank and I want to spend it, I should be able to. I've budgeted, I've saved that money for an important game. I shouldn't be penalised, because there's basically no point spending it, because whatever you buy, you're giving to your opponent for free.
Yeah.
Like what there's no point.
I don't like it. I don't like it. I liked how it was. It's one of those frustrating things. Is why change it when it why try and fix it when it's not broken?
It's just never been Blood Bowl for me. That's just like I'm an old school purist, man. As far as I'm concerned, the rules should be Living Rule Book 6. Even though I sell the new Blood Bowl game in my shop, as far as I'm concerned, that's not the rules. But then again, for new players who are just getting into it, it is so. But the financial fair play thing's just never been a rule, and I don't know where it's come from.
I don't like it. I hate it. I think it's penalising teams more than anything else. And if, like I say, in the playoffs, if they spend 150k or whatever they've got, the next round they haven't got it. So
exactly.
I just think it's really bad when there's like 20k, 30k difference, and one team gets a massive advantage.
Because I can't spend money, whereas you can. If we both, all other things being equal, if you've got a 10k, TV deficit to me, then basically it's giving you free reign to have 150k of inducements that I can't have. It's bollocks as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, so the PC have come up with this rule that I don't think you can only spend 40, 50k of your own bank money, and that's all you can do, and then spend the inducements on top. It might be something to look at. I don't think my fellow PS4 admins are too bothered about it, but then I had a big bust up with Arzuin, the 4-time champion, when every time I play me, he always used a wizard against me, I think there's 10, 20k difference. And what did he do? He went and bought a wizard against me. We had words. And I said, look, you're the four-time champion. You're four-time champion. You still need to scum a wizard, even though there's only 20k difference. Why couldn't we just had a fair game? And people say, well, you're a good coach, so I'm going to take any advantage I like. And it was like, I was so peeved off about it. And I think it's unfair. I really do, and it's a shame they brought it in. But it is what it is.
In the big TV gaps, it doesn't make as much difference. But yeah, it's the 10, 20, 30k games. That's where it's really a kick in the balls.
Yeah, I mean it's based. Yeah, I mean basically, if you look at basically the playoffs, a lot of the times, a lot of the teams are quite close in TV. And that's why I don't like it at all. And obviously PC have said they've already said, look, we're on this financial fair play thing in. I was like, I don't like these extra rules, but the more we've gone forward, the more I thought, what, PC guys have got a point. This is really unfair. Like I said, the Undead and the Norse game, I thought that was really unfair. Space didn't do nothing wrong, he didn't break any rules, but I thought that may get him the win. That was totally unfair on Kozil. But it is what it is, and that's something we'll have a look at. I don't know where the admins stand on the Xbox, but it is unfortunate, and we'll just have to see how it goes.
I think it should just be removed from the game, but I've not really put much thought into how I would solve it if I was trying to come up with a proposal for it.
Yeah. We'll just have to see. And there we go. And the only other thing was, would you like to see like new races or new DLC content you could use your signs with or to pay for, to keep the game not stale? Because someone was saying they thought they was going to bring out Blood Bowl 3. I don't think they will. I don't know where they'd go with Blood Bowl 3.
See, the thing is though, all they'd have to do is make it work properly and it'd be a roaring success.
Yeah. But the problem is, I don't think they know what the problem is. That's the problem.
Yeah, but the thing is, if you're starting from scratch, because at the moment it feels like one of those thumb in the dike situations. It feels like they're running from hole to hole to hole, sticking their thumb in it. And the problem is, every time they stick a thumb in somewhere, they take one out somewhere else. So I'm almost of the opinion that them actually doing Blood Bowl 3 would be a brilliant thing, because then they could redesign it from the ground up without all these holes, and programming issues and.
Yeah. Could you imagine the backlash though from the community if they did that?
Think about it. When was this released?
A couple of years ago.
Come on now, I've been playing this for how many years?
What, Blood Bowl 2?
Yeah, come on. It's been at least 3-4 years. Come on.
Has it?
Surely.
Really?
Surely it has.
No. Has it? I don't think I played that much.
Where's me phone? You'll phone?
Find it.
Oh, Google will tell me.
Google are all lies, unless they agree with me. Maybe someone in chat might know.
Anyone?
Yeah, I like Blood Bowl 1. I like Blood Bowl 1. And the good thing with Blood Bowl 1 is you could pick what times you wanted as well. They had different times. So if you wanted to play, 3-4 minutes or whatever it was, you could spin looking for 3-minute games or 2-minute games. No, you're right. Death Ball said Blood Bowl 2, September 2015. I thought it was later than that.
So it's been two and a half years. Then we were kind of in the middle. Yep, 22nd of September 2015.
Yeah, it's about it's
people pay 50-60 quid for a new version of Call of Duty or Battlefield every year.
It's a fair point.
If it was good, I would pay. I wouldn't pay AAA game price for it, but I'd pay 30 quid for it if it was, if it didn't have any of the issues and it had, all, a decent amount of teams. I wouldn't mind if there was a couple of DLC teams or whatever. That's just games. But at the end of the day, if we want this game to be good, someone needs to make money out of it somehow, because people aren't going to do this out of the goodness of their heart.
See, to me, if I owned Cyanide now, or I was the project manager of Blood Bowl, I'd be like, right, guys, I want to get Chaos Pact out there. I want to get Khorne out there. I want to get games ready. Let's create balanced teams, or teams like Tzeng, Slaanesh, or whatever, or there's a
you can dip into any of the, you can dip into any of the teams from the Living Rulebook 6, and there's quite a few still that they haven't done. So there's plenty of potential there. And this is the thing. Like at the end of the day, I don't mind paying for a game that I get this many hours out of. When you think about it, come on, it's not only like fair enough. It's only been out for 2.5 years. I thought it was longer, but it's like how many hours have I played Blood Bowl for in that time?
Yeah, I mean, I this is the game I just played. I didn't play any of the game. It's only been lately I've been playing Fortnite, but I was continuously playing this all the time. This is the only game I would play.
You and me are going to have fights about this.
I just play
PUBG,
Fortnite. It's free. It's free. It's free. But I had a serious play. I'm shit and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But it's just something different.
Anyway,
but I usually play.
It is,
I usually just play Blood Bowl, and that's all I play on my PS or Xbox. So I love the game. It's just at the moment it's unstable, and that's what's putting me off.
Yeah.
But I'd like to see new teams, just to freshen it up. Even Khorne, I don't like the Khorne roster, but it just gives a bit more variety, and I think it's a bit of an own goal this by side. And I know they'll say, well, we was doing Legendary Edition and stuff like that, so you've got 8 teams there, so fair play. But I think you've got Khorne, you've got I mean, what is it about Chaos Pact? They've never ever brought it out.
No.
What's all that about? Why can't they bring Chaos Pact out? I mean, if they bring Chaos Pact out, that will fly off the shelves. People will buy that. But I don't know. We'll have to see. I mean, like I said, I'd love to see Tzeng, Slaanesh, something different. But I would, and they need to bring some out as well, so you can use Scions. I mean, who
because they're pretty well pointless.
Scions?
Yeah.
Oh, look, I get a new shirt, but I've already got them. What else can I use it on? Nothing.
Nothing.
I don't know.
I think I've got pretty much every single upgrade you can possibly have with the bloody things.
Yeah, I don't even look if I get Scions anymore now. I've got everything I need, so they're just pointless. But we'll see. But I think, you know what? I'm impressed on my batteries. For some, Nuffle wanted this year to go ahead, and they've done well. I expected them to be like almost dead batteries, what had been put aside, and there you go. But
Nuffle has shone on you today.
We've done well. We've done well. So that's us basically done, guys. I'd like to obviously thank Wraith Lord for staying on and coming on the show, giving some great insight. And thanks for everybody who stayed in the chat to keep us company. It's a shame because we've got 26 people listening to us. They're probably watching this excellent game. And I feel a bit dirty that we're going to close it in a minute because this is a good game. It's 1-0 to the Chaos Dwarfs, but Ronald's been playing well. It's just been a bit unfortunate. But obviously you guys can go and watch that on Cabal as well. But we're done now. So good luck to everybody in the playoffs apart from Kozul. I hope you do horribly bad because I deserve to win. Honest.
Get him, Kev.
Just don't DC. Make sure we don't DC. I can't be doing with that again.
Yeah.
But yeah,
that's all I want for the final. All I want for the finals is a DC-free finals. I'll take that. And world peace while we're there. While we're asking for impossible things.
I just don't want any DCs. But like I said, I can't wait for my debut in the Fabble Premiership.
Mate, it's going to be so funny if you and me get each other first round.
Probably will.
We probably will. Well, we have to play each other at least once every season because we're both going to get promoted. So.
You want to see me play Necro? Oh dear me! But
we'll see. To be fair, you've got to do pretty bad not to get promoted in the first season, just because of the way the league works.
Oh yeah, because a lot of people,
a lot of people, like if 5 people in the 5 divisions above you or whatever drop out or start new teams, then you automatically get promoted, which happens pretty much every season. You get tons of people like me who just go, I'm gonna retire my team and start a new one.
Yeah. Drick said he's going to spy something. He will. That Drick, watch him. He might end up in your playoff games. Watch it, guys. He'll probably go, pull the power plug. DC coming up. So yeah, don't trust that Drick. Don't trust that Drick. And we found out he's a Spaniard now as well. So that I trust him even less now. them Spaniards, bloody good Blood Bowl players, sneaky devils they are. But yeah, thanks to everybody. You've all been great, and thanks again for yourself. Cinemouse says released on PC first, consoles a year later. Really?
There you go. So that's probably what I was thinking of. Because I do have it on PC.
I thought they all came out together. I don't know. Whatever. Anyway, guys, thanks again. Like I say, if you want to watch
no problem, mate. Anytime.
This game,
it's been fun.
You can go on to Cabal. Oh, it has. And we'll see you in 2 weeks' time with another show where we're probably going to be at the finals of the Xbox, so we'll be able to talk about that. So,
awesome.
Yeah, jolly good. So, thanks again, guys, and we will speak to you again. See you later.